This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge, have you seen Duck Soup? I didn't go pee-pee yet. Huh.
You can go
I
pee-pee.
wonder if I can hold it.
Challenge.
Is that
Ooh.
something you'd want to talk about? How long you can hold your pee?
No, I'm saying it is a challenge you should undertake. Just what
I gotta
happens.
change. You're really quiet. Hang on. Check. Say more, please. Check.
Hello. This morning
Hello,
for
check.
breakfast, I had some oats, and I've found that I like oats.
This
They're
morning I had
crunchy,
some oats
but
and I
not-
decided that I like oats.
You made
George, can we see the bunny rabbits, George?
I've already been called Letty twice this week.
Who called you Letty? Hey, Alex.
Boy. Yes.
Hey. Hi, how are
Hey.
you? I'll see if I can hold it.
No, right. How are you?
I'm fine. You had a sinus infection last week. It sounds like you might still have it a little bit.
just a touch. Just a touch.
How do you get something like that? What were you breathing that you got that?
Well, I think what happens
Bad thing.
is something infects your sinuses, and I don't know, it's something in the
Oh,
air.
the
here in
situs. It gets the
Chicago.
situs. Does it ever get the topus or the bottomus? Sorry, that's not funny. Word jokes aren't
I'm
funny.
a
And you have a fun ability. That's what it's got. What do we call it? It's not a disability.
A foot.
Yeah, it's an. What do you call that? It's a you know, like it's not a crutch. It's a human potentiator.
Potentiality.
When you sound like
Oh.
that, you sound like every live recording or interview for that matter that I've ever heard with Jello Biafra from Dead Kennedys. He has such a, at least in the 80s, he had such a distinctive voice. This one goes out to Diane Dragon Lady Feinstein. He had
Do you
this
think?
sort of
Okay,
voice.
so interviews. So he had the weirdo voice even off stage. I just thought that was the Nazi punks fuck off voice. That was his
I
real
don't
voice.
know. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure I like that. I either like or even kind of get the Johnny Lydon Sex Pistols character, but I think it's a little bit like that. I think it's a little bit of a, you know, it's a persona, I think. But who knows? You know, when you meet people who are in their 20s and then their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, and it's like, you know, you seem a lot like the way you were when you were 23, which becomes weirder and weirder. Not you, but you know, if you're somebody in your 60s who happened to be on some really good records
fair.
in the early 80s, you know.
Fair.
No, I'm
Fair,
talking about
fair,
John
fair.
Lydon there.
Now, I'm wondering, because you have befriended a number of musicians over the years,
Just
are
usually if they're
there
strays,
any,
they just need a place to stay, you know.
and then, yeah.
I'm
you
like a
bring-
Foster Rock fan. Okay, you can stay here until you have to go to the next place where you play music, but you do have to leave.
Do you have an official set of rules? Like, does anyone
yeah,
regulate
absolutely.
you?
I mean, rules. I mean, it's rules for us internally to just keep the house running. But I mean, are there rules at a dog kennel that the dogs have to follow? Well, if you're willing to enforce dog rules, then yes. And that's kind of what it's like to have a band at your house. You know, and do you remember what Annie Lamott says? You know, how do you train a puppy? You don't yell at the puppy. You don't smack the puppy. You know,
You
I think
buy a shitty notebook.
Huh?
Buy a shitty notebook. It was
Oh,
the
yeah.
reference to Bird by Bird. Never mind.
Yeah, technically that's writing down the bones, but you're on the right track. And so she says you have to get it's a phrase I've picked up and I've certainly used a lot over the years. Rather than saying you make yourself do something, you incline yourself. You try and encourage the puppy to find theyself urinating on the paper rather than in the drawer of an armoire or in mama's shoes.
So you've never like rubbed John Roderick's nose?
I don't
in
think that
anything?
works. People would say that when I was a little kid, I think that was kind of going out of style. Like the way that we were encouraged to like quote discipline our dog was just, I don't even want to get into it, but like you just hit your dog all the time. That's what you're supposed to do. So what do you do? All that shit you hear. And listen, everything I'm about to say is most importantly for me to say, not something I do, but I believe this to be true, that these are not considered good best practices. Like you don't hit it if a dog eats your slipper or whatever, your Star Trek chess set or whatever it is. You don't hit it on the nose with a paper. Who even buys a paper anymore? It's for your bird. You don't hit your dog. You don't like all that does. I remember having a breakthrough with our cat in a previous life, where I realized that like all I'm doing, it's kind of like the Far Side blah blah ginger panel, where it's like all I'm doing is confusing and frustrating this animal and making it think that I'm a capricious asshole. Mm-hmm. Which is a lot of what goes wrong in parenting too. That kind of emotional parenting that, a lot of people do.
Like when you have to hold down your rock star and wipe its ass, and it doesn't know that it has ass.
You love music. Have you ever had to discipline a rocker or a popper? You ever discipline a popper?
What? No.
You don't rub their nose in it though. That just you just seem like you're not being a very good host. What you can do is say it's like when you get like.
If it depends on what kind of cocaine. Like, there's.
I don't think cats do cocaine that I know, but if they did, that would be a terrible idea.
You don't know cool cats. You're they're losers.
Huh. But like I've heard, and I read this in a more recent life when we acquired a cat. They say when you bring a cat into your house, I know lots of intellectual things about cats, but I don't know a lot of practical things about cats. Old Possum has lots of practical ideas about cats, but I've heard that when you bring a cat, first of all, if you already have a cat in your house, you always introduce cats in a place that neither of them has ever been. I've heard this works for dogs too. Have you ever heard this? You got to introduce two new dogs. Like, and let's say it could be dogs that are just going to have to be friends for a little while because it's a dog sitting situation, or it could be that you're inviting a new pet friend into your home. And I've heard, I'm going to throw to you here. I heard on an NPR show a long time ago that was really good that you should introduce, especially cats, somewhere that. And this is important. It's not somewhere that one of them is another. It has to be a place that neither cat has ever been.
Yeah,
have you
it's
heard
neutral. This? Yes, neutral territory.
And why is? But like, let's not lose track of neither one of them has been there. Like, admittedly, this is going to be a slightly anthropomorphic way to look at it. But what can we glean from that situation? Well, I think the one thing we glean is yes, it's neutral territory. But I think the implication is that it's. The cat knows it's not their place and might infer that it's the other cat's place. But the thing, it's kind of like Prisoner's Dilemma, like a cat theory of mind, where they're both behaving like it's the other cat's place. So they're kind of minding their P's and Q's, as my grandmother would say.
Absolutely. Which is, and I know this is a new cat idea, newish cat idea. I've only been up on the cat trades for like a decade. I've had a cat now. But when people, human people, not cat people, they pick a place to go on a date, why would you let the other person pick where to go on a date?
Is this about cats?
No, this is just about, like you're ceding territory. Like if you meet someone and they ask you out on a date and you're kind of like two cats.
I have a lot of thoughts about this and I would love to talk about this.
Please, because
can I finish talking about animals first before you change the topic?
Aren't we all? I'm sorry I interrupted you.
You have a lot of problems and you're probably not breathing very well. Did you have any weird snot?
Oh, the colors! What a tapestry!
Sorry, are you getting like it's? So you first of all you're clogged up, and then when it comes out, it's like gross, and you got to deal with it.
Well, I mean, it depends on.
Did you get medicine?
How you feel about Jackson Pollock? Oh yeah.
A fecal Jackson Pollock. Oh no, not this. And then so that's what I've heard. I've heard that. And then the other thing I heard in this later generation, hey everybody, let's do by Friday, and I heard that when you bring a cat into your house, it seems mean to people like dog people like me, but supposedly you put a cat in if you got a guest bathroom, you put a cat in a small room with what it needs, and you just leave it alone there. Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
That they're actually just the way that some dogs are raised with a crate, and it's not a cruel thing. They like their crate, Mm-hmm. And you can actually go kennel, and the dog will go get in its little crate and go, I'm happy. But with cats, supposedly in a new place, they me and my weighted blanket. They got their own little room. Nobody's bothering them, and they feel like they understand the space. Is that right?
Well, and even if it's not even just a your own space type thing. It's that they can see everything, so they don't feel, even though they might be in a literal corner. Exactly. You go in, you know exactly how to get out as soon as you sit down.
How's the Italian food here? Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. They've got their little litter under the toilet, and in case they need to go in. Yeah, yes. That was a butchered Godfather joke. Oh boy,
we go up. It's one of those. They got this old-fashioned toilet tank.
Mm-hmm. It's for. Oh, can you hear that? Oh no.
I can hear you speaking. Does that help?
All right. Oh, good. Yes. It's no more attempts on my kitty's litter.
What happened, Alex? Was there talking or a cat or something? What happened?
Oh, very loud noises outside.
Oh, I can't hear that. Thank you for worrying though. And then as far as dating goes, you're saying never let, quote, the other person pick the place for the date?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to really scale up. Doesn't somebody have to pick? Well, you're somebody else's other person.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, so it's a zero-sum date. Only one can win. Two enter, one leaves.
Yes. You should always want to be the person picking the date.
Oh, you want to start dominating the relationship from the very beginning.
Exactly. Or yes, you want to know where
you can pick someplace you don't even want to go, just to establish authority.
Or
as long as they don't like it,
dominance.
Mm-hmm, or you could bring them to your house and just put them in your bathroom or your basement. You could put on a cool necklace and wear a woman's face as a mask.
Oh, we don't say that anymore. We just call him, her, a Billy Bob. No, gosh, Buffalo Bill.
Yeah,
man, antibiotics aren't working. But when you would court a lady, did you say where would you like to go?
Oh man, I've been on very few actual dates, and I was very bad at actual dates.
Same here, honestly. But I would always make sure I got to.
I treated dates. And it's this never occurred to me until. I don't think this has ever occurred to me until right now, and this is an insane thing to say, but I think my interest in dating and my interest in D&D had a lot of overlap. Where I really like the planning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wasn't going to dress up like an innkeeper's wife or anything, but I enjoyed learning about saving throws.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing.
The innkeeper's wife. You ever read you ever read the Canterbury Tales? Anyway.
Innkeeper's wife.
Dates. I'm trying to think of the dates I've been on, and a famous date I never had was with. Did you ever have people in your life that your family would refer to as your little boyfriend or your little girlfriend?
Yes.
There would often be a person in my world that I was friends with or whatever, but partly just because Merlin is 4 and little Melanie is 4, and for the next 2 months they're going to live on the same cul-de-sac. So now that's Merlin's little girlfriend, which is fine.
Oh, I mean, I only had one my entire childhood because to switch
was
up
it arranged?
would be...
It was an arranged friend?
Yes, I was basically betrothed, and it was the other Alex in my class. So it was girl Alex and boy Alex, and then it's...
Oh no, you had to be the girl Alex?
Yes, and then luckily,
did you get to swap as your relationship developed? Did you ever get to be the boy Alex sometimes? How do you guys decide? Sorry. Which one? Which one of you is the boy? Which one is the boy, Alex?
We didn't go to the same.
I consider
high
them a
school.
bossy
He didn't
Alex.
He was a. That wasn't that funny. That
It wasn't meant to be funny. It was meant to be penetrating. I mean, as an insight, don't ring a fucking bell at me.
Okay.
Dates, yeah. I mean, like, and so like Jenny Balcom and I would talk on the phone, you know, and in third grade, and we talk about, and later on Nancy.
Oh, that's early.
When we talk about going to York Steakhouse at Northgate Mall and what we'd order.
Oh, so is that kind of like pre-game? Did you pre-game it?
Pre-gay?
Wait.
No, I'm saying it's like
Pre-game,
D&D. It would be like talking about like who's going to dress up as the innkeeper's wife.
So that's what it was. It's like, ooh,
You know,
I'm gonna
I'd say
order
hello,
the-
Mrs. Balcom. May I please speak with Jennifer? And she'd say, hello, Merlin. Yes, let me get Jennifer for you. And Jennifer would come and she'd go, hello. And I'd say, hello, Jenny with an I. I'd say, hi, it's Merlin. Did you want to talk about our date? I'm like, yeah, what do you think we should do? Well, I think our parents will drive us to the mall and we'll go to York Steakhouse. York Steakhouse was an awesome mall steakhouse chain in the 70s. Like a cafeteria style, affordable. A lot of people go there after church. If you don't go to the Forum, which is the AYCE cafeteria at Northgate Mall, you probably go to York Steakhouse. And
was it kind of like there?
It was medieval. It was very medieval. There were lots of chains and
Okay,
and things.
yeah,
and maybe
yeah,
I don't know, axes on the wall. Maybe I gotta look it up. I doubt there's a lot out there about it.
Eddie Halbertons? No.
Halberds.
Did I say it wrong?
No, you said it right.
I said
Any Halliburtons? I think you might mean something different.
Halberds, Halberds,
But you know what I love most about that joke is I'm going to act like you did that on purpose because it makes it funnier that like
Yes.
you are enough of a nerd, and I think you've even before said that the halberd is a good nerd thing to mention, a good nerd weapon. And then you said Halliburton instead. That made it funny. There was that. There was the date.
funny.
There was the first actual the I didn't know it at the time, but the night that would include my first kiss. A girl and I went to see E.T. in its re-release in 1982. That was a date. But my dates, like I don't know. I was never like those normal kids who just went to the skating rink or like I don't know. I don't know. I was socialized weird. Not weird, but like, and the thing I'm trying to avoid here is like this phrase that I used to use, and I think it's so mean to say now, but people who peak early. Another way to put it is people who've had adult adjacent experiences earlier, for better or for worse. Maybe sometimes they're a little over sexualized for the age, if you know what I mean, and like
It's usually for worse.
That's why I said it that way.
Peak
You know
early is
what
often
I mean,
different
right?
kind of trauma. Oh yeah, but I don't.
They'll be
think a
figuring
lot
that shit
of
out for
folks-
25 years. I mean, they'll really be figuring it out in about 5 years. But but no, I mean, yeah.
I mean, you've done
Not all
a
uncles.
service. Oh. You on your other podcast, your program with John Syracuse.
I know that show. It's a good show.
Service. It's a very good show. Did the world a service by. I still can't. I'm still unable to process
What?
this.
What?
Notifying your listeners that naked swimming in America was so prevalent, it has excuse me, its own Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
That it was
That was
so
that was I won't say it was shocking. It was a little surprising to me that it made it to that level and hasn't gotten deleted. Obviously, it's time. People are ready to start talking about this.
Wikipedia is quite strict. Like they're hardcore at this point. It's hard to get a Wikipedia page. Not that I've ever tried.
Yeah,
well,
no, you don't want it.
for a while. But the Wikipedia page, but
You can have mine.
I immediately thought, oh yeah, my dad did naked swimming, but he went to a Catholic school. That was common, and like John Syracuse pointed out, the way that in public schools naked swimming was justified was through all of these, well, both of you pointed this out, it doesn't matter, was through a bunch of various contrived things that didn't make sense, but it sounded a little bit like,
This is why
this should be
what I
common
kept saying is,
knowledge.
like, and I know I sound like a fucking idiot when I say this, but there's a difference between an excuse and a reason. If you ask somebody why they did something, you can come up with a, quote, reason that is plausible. But that doesn't mean what I'm really asking you is not what are plausible reasons this might have happened. What I'm asking you is, why did you decide to do this? Or why did you decide to keep doing this? Right? I think that sounds subtle, but I think that's a really salient distinction. And, in today's discourse, I think it comes up kind of a lot where people end up changing the subject about stuff by presenting a plausible reason that's better cover or more interesting to your allies. But if your reason is, I couldn't get John to jump on with me, but I think it's a lot like cutting the ends off the roast, where it's like, well, we've always done it this way, and we haven't been very curious about why that is, but nobody's died from roast yet, so we still cut the ends off. And in that case, well, I heard the reason we do. I do it because you swim naked because it's my job to make sure you swim naked. Well, okay, how's it your job? Well, there's what, as John puts it, a school policy in some cases about this. Okay, well, how'd you get that school? How'd they get that? I don't know. My job is to enforce the policy, not to be a policy historian. What I have heard in the teacher's lounge where we all smoke and develop our extreme coffee breath is because fibers from the suits get caught in the filters. And you're like, oh, okay. So why do other swimming pools operate with swimsuits? No, I'm just saying that, like,
It's the policy.
well, yeah, but you're like, I understand. And I do understand. I mean, it's like back in the day when, like, you get on a customer service call with somebody and want to debate, AT&T's policy about partial billing on months of wireless overseas or whatever. And they're like, guy, I'm a prisoner in South Carolina. I don't have any agency over these things. I'm just here to try and help you.
But
You're arguing with the prisoner who wants to help you.
But I think it's it is a little bit like, oh, well, we've always cut off the ends of the roast, but it almost feels more like, well, if you're asking the question, you're not just a troublemaker, you're an idiot. So if you do have any
like you're either being like willfully dumb or like willfully provocative.
yeah, and but I don't even know if it's
Well, I mean, like think about something like a childlike, as in the hyphenated phrase childlike, a childlike question of something like, why do we put people in jail or why do we put people in prison for a really long time? And okay, well, there are reasons for that are true and reasons for that are plausible, but what you will rarely hear from an adult who's saying a truthful thing to a child is like, why we have the system that we do. And one reason we have the system that we do is runaway slaves. And that's a more complicated answer than we can get into. It would be easier for me to say, well, we had to have 3 strike laws because people were doing too much crack. And you're like, okay, but like, and so you sound, it's one thing when a little kid goes, mommy, what happened to Jesus? And you have to do a whole thing. That's a question I asked my mother once because I got so involved in a story about our Lord once, I forgot what happened.
did she? Was it?
I think she made this face a little bit. Can you? Do you want me to say it?
No, is an anti-Semitism face, or is like I don't know which that.
An anti-Semitism face challenge.
Yeah. God.
We're gonna watch some old movies.
Wait, with the naked swimming thing though, like you made the good point of this probably started with some light pedophilia.
Everybody's got their reasons.
Everyone's like, and it's unlike what.
I wonder how many times they had to, like, you heard me say the line, hey, you're not going to believe what I got in the manual today. It's like, right? You must be, when you meet with your other pedophiles at Pedophile Club, which has at least 2 rules.
NAMBLA. Yeah.
NAMBLA. We're not killers. You ever seen that? Is that Mr. Show sketch? Nambla, We're Not Killers.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, but you, but
South Park stole it. and
but
arguably
it's so
did
funny
it
for
better.
people to like sit around and go like, oh man, like how far can we push this? Like, and okay, well the thing is, the pool. Little kids. The fibers get caught in the filter, and then nobody gets to swim. Also, black kids shit in the pool because they don't have bathrooms.
Well, but here's the thing: they got away with their pedophilia by like, okay, this isn't acceptable.
But why don't you go a step further and just say, and also all the boys, every boy needs to personally perform a fancy German dance for me. That you could put that in the manual and say, well, we've always done it that way. It's because of fibers. Hey, it's Oktoberfest, Billy. Periscope's up.
I just think it's still. Why did I talk about the school pedophilia? Oh, but like
You're saying you enjoy the podcast I do with John Siracusa.
Yes, and the whole idea of like peaking early and
right. The sexualization.
Yeah, well, and I said the very upsetting clip of my mother being, oh no, I didn't do naked swimming, but we did have to, we all did need to be lined up on the wall naked while Mrs. Johnson, or like we were handed our bathing suits, and she's like, yeah, and I was a size 16. It was so, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Mom, that's okay. And
but I'm so glad you said that though, because that's the kind of thing where like. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like, the designated ally here or something, but like, there's a lot of stuff that guys don't think about, even good-hearted and decent guys, because we were never habituated to think about. Like, just girls and periods, it's a whole big thing. Like, that's just one. Girls and periods. Every woman I've ever known, one breast is a little bigger than the other. Everybody I've ever known, like, hates their thighs. And on top of it all, then, like, you've got to say, what size, hey, Butterball, what size swimsuit? Say the number. Say 16 in front of your friends with your weird droopy boob.
And the worst part, I'd stop recording. The worst part for me later was like 5 minutes later, she's like, well, it made me a stronger person. And I'm like, well, Mom, I don't know.
See, okay.
That's
like,
a good,
I appreciate, I totally get that. I appreciate your mom saying that. I'm instead of saying, as I would say to John, wow, that's really not that far off from my parents beat the shit out of me for no reason and I turned out great. Yes, I think that is partly also a coping mechanism thing. And I believe it's true. But if we turn that question around, though, and this is not to your...
I immediately turned back to her and be like, Mom, did that have any bearing, you think, on how you addressed my body as a kid? Like, it was a good...
Well, not to
seriously.
It's not funny to make the remark I want to make, and it's not cool. So I'll say, well, there's a lot of people who've lived through a lot of stuff in life, including in the last century. And I think they have every understandable right and reason and thing that made me stronger. I bet Elie Wiesel thinks his experience made him stronger in some ways. Like, yeah, you get stronger. So let me pose that question a different way. If you were starting from scratch and got to raise a kid in a way that you think is wholesome and generative and good-hearted and good, is that the path you would choose? So is that so good at, what was your mom's phrase, at making her stronger? Is it so good at making this person better or stronger or faster or better? Is it so good that that's what you should do? So, like, you could say, for example, like, our house burned down on Christmas Eve and it was the worst time ever, but, it brought our family together and blah, blah, blah. And, thank God you find some way to get through stuff like that. But so is it fair to say then that you feel like a good way for a kid to become stronger is for you to set their house on fire on Christmas Eve? Because that's almost what you're saying when you say...
Really funny metaphor.
Kind of.
really good and funny.
But do you follow? I mean, sorry. Do you follow the logic of what I'm saying, though?
Yeah,
It's one thing to
yes.
say in retrospect. It's one thing to say like these were. I mean, I have a lot of stories like that they've become stories for me. They have a beginning and a middle and an end, and they don't get updated every week. Like, oh, I learned a lot from this experience, and when I quit that job, I blah blah, and then I started 7 companies, and now I'm a serial piece of shit or whatever. But like, it's in retrospect. But that's again, it's reason versus excuse. I need a better term, but like. It's one thing just to come up with like your story about how something went and it could have gone worse. But does that mean do you think that's good? Do you think do you follow what I'm saying? Like, is that what you would want to happen to your kid?
I think the more like, not nefarious, but sort of the low level simmering thing is like, well, when I was a kid, our whole house burned down. So, I mean, only your tree burned down. Like, shit up. It's only the tree. You only got 2nd-degree burns this time.
So you didn't even lose Christmas, and you're probably not that much stronger. Boo.
Yeah, but not even that.
Take your clothes off. You're going swimming. When you're done, you're going to cut the ends off the roast. If you know what I mean. I have this paddle on the wall, my regulation paddle.
Oh,
so here's the thing about dating. I don't think your approach scales up because you're basically making it a zero-sum game, which is probably not a great way to start a relationship. Here's another thing I heard one time, and I might have heard this. This fits very neatly into the style of the wisdom document, as you'll see in a second. I think I might have read this in Rules of Thumb. I forget where. No, maybe one of my various books on how to be a man in the 70s and 80s. But it said something like, on the one hand, so like a lot of people... I guess this is still true, but for a long time, the way that single people met was, through church and community groups, but often, from the 60s and 70s on, in bars, nightclubs, whatever, right? But like places where you gather to dance and drink and whatever, right? You meet people in clubs, you meet people in bars. What I'm trying to avoid is... What?
Sock hops. That's a thing.
You go to a sock hop and have a malted?
I was contributing.
No, you are. All I'm trying to avoid is the completely understandable impression people could have that everybody who went to quote singles bars over 40 years was trying to have a one-night stand, an anonymous one-night stand that night, or that all the men are predators and all the women are idiots. And no, it's just the way that you would go and you would meet people. Anyways, there's on the one side of it, and there's a corollary. On the one hand, it makes a lot of sense to like not start. Okay, one school of thought says don't date people that are too outside of your, I don't say a friend group, but like, unless you want to do like a full on. Actually, Romeo and Juliet's not even the best example. Valley Girl, the great Nicolas Cage movie. Like, he's a punk rocker from like OC, I think, and she's from the mall, and like, oh my god, what an unlikely couple, and like that's fun, but like that's going to be tough because boy, when Nicolas Cage comes to the preppy party, it does not go well. So people say, well, instead, why don't you, friends of friends and things like that. But the corollary is also really good advice, which is a variation on the infelicitous phrase, don't shit where you eat. Like, don't diddle around with people you work with. Don't diddle around with your sister's friend. And don't diddle around with the bartender at the only bar you like to go to. Because chances are, at some point, that relationship will end. There's always the chance that it will end with some kind of misunderstanding, acrimony, sadness, disharmony, whatever it is. And now your bartender hates you. And now your girlfriend, your sister's girlfriend, sister hates you. Like, everybody fucking hates you because they're all in that same group. Do you have a thought on that? How far do you like to get outside the cultural gene pool when you were dating, as a dater?
That's kind of it's breaking my brain because everything you were saying makes sense, but this is
your brain.
Another because I was literally just talking about this and just thinking about this because everything's two queers with me. When Matt and I, met, when any two queers
Wherever
get
two or
together,
more of you are
like,
gathered in his name, there is love and a U-Haul.
yes, and it's a lot. It's less difficult now, but you usually at some point ended up with the bartender at your favorite bar, because there's really only one bar to go to. And even in like 2014, the dating pool pretty small, even in Chicago, and you wouldn't just end
Well, in your
up,
suburb, especially, right? But in your suburb, you were still in, right?
Oh yeah, the suburb I didn't even try. Later we found out. I mean, the pool was larger than we thought. But
Yeah, but she
this
still had to
is
be
not
naked in
the. I don't know if there is a.
It's the wettest lesbian bar in town.
Oh, ew, 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 ew. I don't know if
Plug
there's
it
a
up.
good.
Plug it up.
No.
They're going to laugh at you. Carrie, they're going to laugh at you. I love
You
that
didn't
movie.
even get into the part where not like a lot of girls, yeah, they have the fear of like the Carrie fear of you're gonna, people are gonna, all the girls are gonna see you bleed and they're gonna mock
And in
you.
Carrie's case, let's
But-
remember, it's not just that her period started. She didn't know what the fuck was happening. She didn't know what it was because her mother wouldn't tell her.
Yeah, but it wasn't that like, we see it. We're like, oh, we as in the menstruators, as
Like she wasn't prepared. She forgot to put a Kotex in her clutch.
That's the most people feared. Whereas my fear, the fear of a lot of my classmates in preteen, like we as preteens, we were always trying to find the pads and the tampons that had the quietest wrapper, because if that's how you would find out
If somebody was in a
someone
stall and you
had it
heard
for the
crinkling.
first time. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it was like you
And
heard
moaning.
a condom breaking or something. It was like that was
Did they
where the
moan
gossip
when they fixed their
happened.
menses area?
I don't know if that's
Why'd you go to the store to buy us menses? That was funny.
no, not that funny.
You don't remember
not
that joke.
funny.
So
No,
quiet
what?
rappers. Now that seems like something that the industry would want to address. One time we went
That
to
is
grad
now
night.
actually a thing.
Oh really?
Yes.
Quietest rappers in the biz.
Well,
And now
because
your shame
sex
won't
bathrooms,
need a
yeah.
name. The quiet rapper in the crapper keeps you safe.
Oh, I was trying to think of a musical joke, and they all ended up racist. Don't know why I voiced that, but because rappers.
Well, now you got two
rappers-
problems. Huh.
Yeah.
No. I understand. I'm the same way. I was about to say something about the way people park and drive and use the sidewalk, but then I realized it was
Oh.
racist. The sidewalk is not entirely yours, madam.
Oh, I kept trying to find the term for speaking of racist things.
Speaking of racist things.
I don't know what the term is now for what was called Eskimo sisters. Which
Whoa,
is when you,
I don't know that one.
Do you not know? Okay, so this is the thing where if you were considered like Eskimo sisters or Eskimo brothers, it was that you and your friend had like fucked the same guy. And especially when you were in a small circle.
And by fuck, you
never-
mean that could mean anything north of kissing.
that honestly,
Like if you've both
But I
been
heard
fingered by the same guy, it would still
it,
count.
it would.
Well, not even fingered, but maybe one of you got
fingered.
fingered and you one got a Texas titty twister. Or a rodeo. They pulled a rodeo on you. Or
They called it a massacre back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's right. We like one of you got deep Frenching, and the other one got the massacre at Wounded Knee. They call it.
There's the chain. There
Trail of
was
Tears.
scissoring, and then there's chainsawing. It was a
Yeah,
whole.
chainsaw. Oh, chainsawing is like scissoring, except more vicious.
Yes.
You do it. Two lesbians, two chainsaws, no waiting.
Go to do the max. They get explained.
Two girls,
the joke.
one cup,
Oh.
two chainsaws, and a partridge. Huh? That's interesting. That's super.
There they.
That's super interesting.
Okay.
How do you decide which one
I
holds the
love-
chainsaw?
Have you really never heard the term Eskimo sisters?
No, I hadn't heard that. I mean, I might have heard that. I don't think I've heard that. And I'm not trying to like be like, oh, it's really offensive. I've said much worse shit than that.
No, I'm not. No.
It's a great phrase, though. I don't know where it comes from, but it's a wonderful code phrase.
And when I realized that when I said Eskimo brothers, I had never heard. I'm like, oh wait, I don't know if anyone's ever said that, because of course you and your buddies probably fuck the same girl. Like, yeah,
dear.
high five, good job. Whereas
Fuck can mean just. I mean, this is the thing though. I want to make sure the young people out there know that when people say sex stuff, they're not always talking about penetrative sex, and that confused me for a long time.
and worse, I think is the.
I mean, don't you think? I mean, like you got the bases, and I don't know if your bases are my bases. The bases I grew up with: first base is kissing, second is boobs, and I think third is downstairs. What are your bases?
I am not doing a bit. Yeah, I think they literally changed based on. And by changed, I mean like just in terms of both cultural norms and
Because
the
of the
way
pitch
kids
clock.
talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Tell Kara, she'll get it.
Like,
Petting sessions used to be a lot longer. As Dr. Drang has explained, since 2023, including the introduction of the pitch clock, people are getting fingered a lot faster than they used to.
I mean, do you know about the third base rule where you just get on third base if the
Base? How low can you go? Death Row, another What a Brother? No. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal. D, Public Enemy #1, 5-0 says freeze, and I gotta run. Did I tell him that I never even had a gun, just the wax that Terminator X spun? Is that what you're talking about?
I missed my mute switch. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Elvis was a hero to most. Never meant shit to me. Straight up racist. That fuck was simple. Motherfuck him and John Wayne.
A base.
So you were
was
saying
never
about
kissing.
lesbians chainsawing in a wet pool? No, keep talking.
No, just the
I'm just looking at photos of York Steakhouse and wishing it was still around.
I'm sure.
I wonder where Jenny Balcom is.
York.
One of my high school girlfriends is now a big time professor in near Boston.
Oh, well, must be nice.
Must be dice.
You were saying?
I just wanted you to know that I acknowledge near Boston. I get it, Quinn.
Oh, I was talking about Cambridge. You mean? Yeah. Sorry, when I say near Boston, what I mean, I'm sorry. I should have said Cambridge. Yes, I studied that near the Charles River.
That's fair.
That's correct. I wrote that thesis near the Ted Williams Tunnel. Someone takes you to the airport.
That's what
Big
they
dig.
called.
Pixies. And with that, wait, what else I got? I got Buffalo Tom. I got, who else I got? What we were talking about Boston, right? Oh, you got the Cars from the Back Bay, whatever that means. Back Bay. That sounds like a place you'd take your end rest.
Or the area you'd go.
That's what I'm saying. Third base.
Yeah, no,
These baseball players today got a lot of funny names, Alex.
They do they?
Well, aren't you the one who sent me a Who's on First video with Groucho Marx? Do you not know the Who's on First bit?
Yes, I Do you want to talk about the challenge?
Wow. Abrupt much?
No, I.
Are you very ill?
Some people finish. No, I just think.
Man, they had these
there's
yeast
something
rolls. They had these really good yeast rolls. So like a big. Oh, look! I was seeing this photo. This is a picture of a tray at York Steakhouse, and you can really get a sense of this. You get to pick your level of doneness. You get to pick your sides if you want pudding, rice pudding.
All right.
Dog
this
pudding.
place looks way nicer. This feels like a Ruby
It's not.
Tuesdays.
No. It's a family. No, did you ever? I'm so sorry. Did you ever? Hey, 25 years before you were born. No, there was a common thing would be like these cafeteria style places where you go in and as opposed to like a strict later buffets were pretty unusual when I was a kid. They would call it a smorgasbord, and it was its own kind of thing, and it wasn't a big thing. But cafeterias were very popular. Sorry, everybody, I'm over-explaining something because otherwise it won't make any sense. The cafeteria model in the post-automat world became very popular because it was a way to, like, in the same way, like, why is the milk in the back of the grocery store? Is that how they? No, the milk is in the glass is in the back of the grocery store because that's near where the truck's unloaded, and it makes it easier to get the milk there. And in this case, they have one guy. You got a black guy at the carving station. He's always a big, sweaty black guy. No, but you go and you pick your steak, you get your side, your da-da-da-da, and you push your tray through. And as you go along, if you want to add things from the bar, you add it, and you pay for each item a la carte. Right? So cafeteria. And this is that, except it's a quote unquote steakhouse. Oh. And it's the kind of place a third grader would really want to take Jenny Balcom.
Did this ever happen, or was it just like the?
I never got to dress up as the innkeeper's wife.
Oh.
I'm a show pig. Dress me up and let the barber's wife ride me around town. Chris, call me. The neighbors want to know if you're trans. Love, Dad. I'm a show pig.
I need a natural 20 for that. Oh, I'm doing
you're a
two
natural 20.
stand-up bits at. Oh, now it's 3 stand-up bits.
You're a critical hit.
There we go.
Hey everybody, it's Due by Friday. That's
challenge.
Actually, Alex.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
We may have to drop this in for the after show because I've tried to tell people this in the past. To the dugga, me making that noise, I think kind of started probably on Back to Work, but definitely like really became a thing here. And anybody who's my age...
Actually, Top Scallops is the first time I heard it, or the first time I edited it.
And then I don't know why then, but in my head I feel like I remember trying to explain this to Dan. And it just became a thing I would do sometimes when I wanted to change the topic about things. But anyways, there's this sound that I make. And I just want to be very clear, as we'll see in a minute, this is not a sound I invented. But if you are my age... and you watched a lot of TV and saw a lot of visual stuff and heard songs from the mid-'80s, you might know is the sound of like, it's like an electronic drum machine, like tom roll, like across the rack roll, like, but that would precede, that was the exciting thing that would be followed by all kinds of, and your local news is on. Right? Or you hear, Value Town is where the value, or whatever. Like, and then we started doing that here. But the one that I'm actually literally impersonating, the actual literal drum sound that I am impersonating, is in a Mr. Show sketch called NAMBLA, We're Not Killers. Or am I technically being the one called the new Ku Klux Klan? And it's about a public...
I don't think it's in the NAMBLA.
NAMBLA, We're Not Killers. Hey, check us out. We're the new Ku Klux Klan. We're 100% hate-free. It's about this awards. I think it's the Cyrus Dewey Awards for public relations firms, and who can rehabilitate the worst group. Yeah. So anyway, but I'd love to play that for you just a little bit, just so you can hear the drum sound that I'm impersonating, and you can evaluate what it's become. I could cut all that out, but I won't.
No, don't, because I think discussed this, and you're like, and Max and I were doing the same. It was
in your head. Do you hear electronic drums in your head though?
I hear a mix of electronic drums as well as like weird synths of like mid 2000s, both game shows and
yes, absolutely, Alex.
Shows.
I'm sorry, yes, absolutely, game shows, but that kind of like super canned. And again, not to steal your example here, but very popular in game shows in the late 70s and 80s. Think about Match Game, which is maybe my all-time favorite. Match Game goes doom ba doom 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 ba doom doom, and then it goes and it's got that like a chirpy dun 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 dun. Oh, I watched the very first episode. I watched the very first episode with Charles Nelson Riley and Brett Summer a couple weeks ago. The original, the
Oh.
OG, when Brett Summer was on for the first time, and when Charles Nelson Riley was on. And I think it might have been Richard Dawson's first too.
This is a much older game show.
1972. They called it every year. They would update the number for a number of years anyway. I think I started watching in earnest in Match Game 75. But I think it started in 72. Gene Rayburn had that long ass stick microphone that we all want now. A fantastic look, like a Bob Barker microphone.
Oh yes, those. Oh,
Stick mic.
you know what? I'm not going to say anything about stick mics.
Bass stick mic.
Taking burying that hot take.
Okay.
I didn't realize that it was specifically though a Mr. Show sketch because like the idea also. This is funny because now I watch it.
They do. The thing is, they do it a lot. Almost all of their music it's really funny, but there is a lot of music on Mr. Show, especially in the musical episodes, like the Jesus Christ Superstar parody. That's one of my all-time favorites.
So good. Oh my God. I saw that before.
Check this shit out. Tell me I'm good except when I'm bad. Oh, happy except when you're sad. Isn't he? Jack Black is so great in that. Close that refrigerator, and Bob and what's her name as Caiaphas, as the Pharisees. Close that refrigerator door. I'm not paying to cool the out of doors. I was on the 18th hole. But if you listen, their music is very like synthesized. Like it's an early like 90s, 95, 96, 97 job of like trying to do everything. So like every time that Bob Odenkirk terribly sings a terrible song, the laser beam of love, like all of those, and you hear that those squeaky keyboards, it's all in that style. It's all in that like, it's very of a piece. With not the theme of the show, but like all of the music, the theme of the show is so fucking good. Did you know that's my HBO sound?
Wait, what do you mean? No.
Okay, so when an HBO show comes on, let's say for the sake of argument, you don't know what the show is, it comes up and you hear poof, and you get the fuzzy, very unfortunately difficult to render HBO logo. Right? Mm-hmm. You get that noise.
Oh, dude. Oh, sorry. I got excited about a clip. Notes.
Everybody's talked about this. I don't think there's a name for it. It's kind of a meme, but I've heard enough people independently discuss this to think this is definitely a thing. If you've ever had HBO in your life or HBO made DVDs or whatever in your life, I bet you have a show where every time you hear boom, or however it goes, there's a pause, and you might expect to hear dunk 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 bum 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 bum, or you might expect to hear boom 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 ba 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 bum ba bum ba bum ba bum, or you might expect to hear
wait what's that? What
Curb Your
is
Enthusiasm? Well, that wasn't very good, but Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay,
but I expect to hear chicka 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 wah 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 wah. What do you expect to hear?
What would you expect for me?
Oh, sorry. I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, there's a part, it's not The Wire, I don't think, weirdly enough, but Sopranos and that Jessica Parker's thing. I was just making, what's it called? All the big girls. Sex and the City. Sex and the City.
Never seen an episode of it. No,
but in terms of early HBO, like, after Arliss and Dream On changed the world. Yeah, that was, I mean, I think even before The Sopranos, that was like the first big HBO show. I don't remember the exact history, but they had a hell of a time in the late 90s. But honestly, it depends. Like, if over the years it's changed. As I watched a fuck ton more Curb Your Enthusiasm multiple times, that became kind of what I expected. But the sentimental one I'll always hear is Mr. Show. Now, what about you?
My sentimental.
It varies. We're very differently aged.
Yes, my sentimental is Game of Thrones because I never had HBO growing up.
And then
And
no, sorry, I know. But like, what's the very first? Is
it's
there
like
kind of like a little roll at the beginning?
It's a very brief like
From bong, dun, gung, gung, gung,
and then it
right?
goes,
Frung,
yeah.
gung. But yeah, and there's like a light percussion thing, like frung, dung, gung, 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 gung. And then it changes
Well,
to
it
major and minor.
changes.
Well, it's major. Yeah, it goes major and minor. Oh, I love a major minor change. Oh, I love it.
But like that was
Oh,
the
major.
first
Wait,
HBO
you know
show.
what? Hang on, I'm writing that down.
Oh?
Major minor songs. I would like. I don't want to make it a challenge necessarily. I would like an opportunity to please make a list of songs that do huge changes between major and minor keys, especially songs where, for example, all the verses are minor and all the choruses are major. Or in the cases, one of my all-time favorite songs that does this. It's on my top 5 song list. Is That Love by Squeeze, where it goes minor, major, minor, major, and then it does major, minor inside of a verse. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, not a
Like if you're playing a song in A.
No, I know what you're talking about. I just don't know this.
But it's weird. Like it makes if you're not a music theory person, like you normally think like, okay, if I'm going to play a G, then what's the minor key? Sorry, what's the minor chord that you would play after you played an open G? Well, of course you'd play an E minor or a B minor. Or there's others, but like E minor is the relative minor of G. What's weird though is if you're playing along an A, Jenga, 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 and then you go to just drop straight into A minor, that's weird. I like
was
that.
so good. I
And
didn't
it's so
make a
pure.
relative
That was so
minor
pure.
joke. I
Wasn't that
Yes. No, it was not.
Ever since you come in, I know you like to watch them swim. Coming down from Canada, look inside the pool. See, you're the one's a fool.
That was very good.
They swim
but,
like us. They swim like us. I'm not going to do the voice.
Don't.
Hey, check us out. We're the new Ku Klux Klan. We're 100% hate free.
No.
The challenge this week. Oh, Alex.
Oh, the
Here's where you
challenge
come
this
in.
week, I said, Merlin, you don't need to do anything.
You did but also, can I just say, like fairly early on, unprompted, because there's been a lot of weeks in the past where I've asked you, hey, what's the challenge? I can't be bothered to go look it up. But out of nowhere,
That's my job.
It's not my day to watch him, but you just came in out of nowhere. You came in. You understand?
Yes.
And you said,
Yes,
just so
I
you
can
know,
chainsaw it.
you got no preparation next week.
Correct. Yes.
Ain't that interesting?
Dig Dug, this week's challenge was to watch Duck Soup, the last motion picture.
Alex, really? Did you watch it?
Yes.
Oh no! Well, yeah, just so the audience knows, because you did a shit job with this transition. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Righto. Although I thought you would guess because of my.
I don't. Do any of you people ever do
Dumont.
podcasts with other people? Do you understand how the back and forth works? Anyway.
Yes, and yes, and
I bugged you. I don't even know at this point. I would say 2, but it might at this point be 5 years ago. I was like, you got to watch Duck Soup. And I was like, I kept referring to it. And so I put it on my old Synology. And I don't remember why. There was a reason. I don't think it was worth exploring. But I think probably I sent you an expiring link. Or I don't know if it changed location or something, but you couldn't download it for some reason. And how did it become the joke though? Is it like bugged you about it, and you were like, "I tried, and you didn't have it on." How did it become a running joke?
Multiple. It was like it expired a link, and then I couldn't download it because it was a really big file. And
you know what else, Alex? Can I just say, nobody cares except you and the 4 people that will care. Is that I finally learned an important trick. That I can tell you exactly what happened. That's back when I used to do what I thought was a considerate thing. For people who have high-speed connections and are download things a lot, I think it's a nice thing to say, here's a .zip file or a GZ or whatever. But in this case, a .zip file. And that .zip file is the entire contents of the folder that contains everything you need to watch the movie Duck Soup, right? Which is fine, except I'm a size queen. I get the biggest everything I can get. And it might have been a 15 or 20 gig file. But
Yes.
what I learned was, yes, you can provide it as a zip, but why don't you instead just let people go to that folder? And that way you can see what is in there, what you're getting. And instead of like, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing, it's like giving somebody a medium-sized box and they don't know whether it's, an ounce or 1,000 pounds. You don't know what's inside. That at least now when I send somebody a folder, God, this is tedious. At least now when I send somebody a folder, they can look inside and go, oh, I see, that's a 26 gig MKV, too rich for my blood. Or, oh, look, they've done a mobilized and optimized mobile version that's 720p and it's just 4 gigs. I'll get that. At least then you got a choice rather than the box of unknown weight title.
You're
And then it became a bit.
yeah, 15.31 gigabytes. Because
So wait, did you get it from me still?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
No.
Wow.
I watched. It's been syncing in my iCloud drive since. When
You put it on your
July
iCloud?
30,
Oh, Jiminy.
July 30th, 2020. So yeah. So
Well, that might be when I downloaded it. No, is that a date added?
maybe. No, that's yeah.
Did you know? Did you know that? I know you're not a Big Mac person, but I'm just going to proceed.
Oh, shut up! I'm a big.
I'm going to
Mac
proceed.
person now.
Okay,
I
but I'm going to
fixed the
proceed.
Mac.
Okay, because here's the new thing I'm doing, Alex. I'm going to try and stop doing the thing. Hey, if you're on a Mac, this is a neat thing to know. When you're in the Finder, you can hit Command J, and that brings up a little window that'll let you select things about that window, including, for example, I really like calculate all sizes in a folder. And what's neat is I like it so much that when I do that, Command J, then I'll say, I want you to calculate all sizes in all of my folders from now on, which is kind of a neat thing. I think that's really handy. You know what else? I guess if I ever knew this, I forgot it, but it's actually super fucking handy, especially for scripting. Did you know there's a date last opened flag that's you can see
I
in
didn't
the
know
find?
there was a flag.
Well,
Oh,
no,
my
sorry.
goodness.
Okay, but like my typical window is name, date. I guess I could just look at it like a person instead of trying to be Karnak. I open a new
Well,
window and I've got name, date modified, size, kind, date added. And I am, in the last 3-4 years, I've gotten really into toggling quickly between. Yeah, so I want to look at them, see all the names in the left part. I'm looking for a name a lot of the time, but they'll be sorted often by date added. And I'm in view number 2, the list view, right? But you can also do by date opened, and it's actually crazy handy sometimes to be able to see
Yeah.
stuff. And obviously, then that's reflected in stuff like, well, you might know this, but others may not know this. And I have one more after this. But isn't that so? Do you calculate all sizes?
I don't think I think I might have a long time ago because instead of going to get info, it automatically shows it. But I'm a date opened as my default. But
So
everything you
but you
just
sort
said,
by
I
so like
did not know
downloaded
that
or
you could do
desktop, you
Command
do sort by
J.
date added. Yeah, that's
Yes.
how I tend to leave it, and that's really handy because if you download something, in my case, like 3D models, there is for most people, date modified and date added. I'm guessing for most people is they're all the same thing a lot of the time. Because you're just downloading a file or you're moving a photo here or whatever. I don't know. But like sometimes a file that has miraculously retained its modification date, you want to see by when it was added to the folder, not by when it was changed.
Yeah, and do you have it? This, you know what? No, this isn't. I'm
We're not
going
to apologize
stop
anymore.
saying that
We're
this
not going to
is boring,
apologize anymore.
and I'm
No,
not-
we're done. We're done with that, Alex.
Right. And I'm going to.
It's so
stop
freeing once you
saying-
start doing it and you've succeeded. I'm just telling you, guy to guy. Once you have pulled it off a few times, you feel so fucking free.
The
Never look back.
do you
Don't look back. You
also-
can never look back.
I'm sorry. I might.
Don't look back.
But do you?
Don't look back.
Wait. What is that?
Well?
Wait, what is that from?
Oh
Fuck.
well, okay. I still had 2 more jokes I was going to do after that. The joke that I was doing
go with
was
the jokes.
I was
and
quoting
the
a song by
back
Don
tips.
Henley called "Boys of Summer," and then I was about to pivot to was the story
Never
of
ever
Lot's
look
wife.
back, Yes.
Lot's wife, who doesn't have a name, because
And
God had said to them, "I want you to
lots
run
of
away
them.
from Sodom and Gomorrah, and I don't want you to look back." And everybody, including Lot, did what God asked and didn't look back at Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot's wife did look back, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. Were you aware of this?
Actually, I thought it was stone, so no, I did
A
not.
pillar of stone?
Yes. That's wrong. That's the Greek one, isn't it? Ooh.
What,
I'm
what
mixing
are you
up.
talking about, the Hippocratic Oath? I don't think hippos would survive here. If that's too short, you need a minute and a half.
Yours? That's good.
You ever seen Duck Soup? And then from that, I was going to pivot to Kurt Vonnegut and the wonderful, let's find it. Why don't we just go ahead and find it, because it's so good anyway. And this is going to be in my quotations file. Hey, will you put this in notes? I want people to know that I write things.
Yes.
This is from my gist
Which-
called Quotations to Get Right, that I spend more time on than is probably practicable. So where do we go? We went from I saw a deadhead sticker on a Cadillac. Don't look back. You can never look back. Right?
Related to the challenge, first version I heard of that song was by the Ataris, because Midwest emo. Continue.
Wait, I can brown skin shining in the
Yep.
sun. That song?
Yeah.
Okay, and then Don't Look Back, You Can Never Look Back. And then I'm pivoting there to the Old Testament of the Bible, the other Testament, the very old Testament, not the Good Testament, the elderly Testament.
Not the one shining in the sun. Okay.
And that's where God says you got to run away with Sodom and Gomorrah. There's going to be some flames. You're going to be tempted to look back. Let me warn you right ahead. Don't look back. Lot's wife looked back. She turned into a pillar of salt. And Kurt Vonnegut, at the end of the preface, the thing where he talks about Bernard and his visits and the Guggenheim's scholarship, he said people aren't supposed to look back. I'm certainly not going to do it anymore. I've finished my war book now. The next one I write is going to be fun. This one is a failure, and it had to be, since it was written by a pillar of salt.
Oh, fuck.
I got shivers right now. I got shivers.
that's-
I had shivers for like 2 contiguous hours yesterday. I was just watching the end of Dunkirk on repeat for 2 hours. And then I made my wife watch it, and I cried again.
How do you put it on repeat for 2 hours? Isn't it a 2-hour movie?
I've got a new thing I'm doing that I'm just going to call Let Go and Let God. What?
Okay. Well, no, I thought this was like some Time Lord shenanigans. Sorry, let go, let God.
Oh,
don't
which is
look
like,
back.
instead of like always, something Chatty G has helped me with is like, just ask for the thing you want instead of the thing you almost have the skills to do. Just do the simple fucking thing. Find out what it is you want and do the thing. And what I wanted to do was I was sharing my list of Merlin's Happy Place, videos, music, comedy, a YouTube list of things that always brighten my day. If I need a lift or not, I love looking at things on Merlin's Happy Place. One of those things is a wonderful performance of one of my favorite pieces. It's a little basic, but a piece by it's the not Nimrod Sweet. What's it by? It's who wrote that? Oh no, sorry, I'm having a brain fart. I was trying to sound smart and now I can't. It's by the English composer.
Oh, this is a full on Alex. What
It's
is
okay.
happening?
It's okay. I don't actually
at
care. I'll have it
the
in a second.
Happy Place and you have updated this. This is some good. This is very
a
happy.
wonderful. Okay, so Edward Elgar is from the last. I think it's the last part of the Enigma Variations. Now, the greatest Elgar thing that you can listen to. And it's going to seem pretty like super basic to a lot of people, but the THE great Elgar thing you can listen to is Jacqueline Dupre. In the early 60s, there's a video of it that we can find for notes. A cellist called Jacqueline Dupre playing an Elgar concerto.
And why is that basic? What about that is basic?
Well, I mean, like, for example, the way to become the least popular person in the room is to say, like, I have favorite versions of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, first movement. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I I have not heard every version of the Goldberg variations, but I've heard 4 versions of the Goldberg variations, enough to have really strong opinions, just personally. Not strong as in like, well, I'll dislike you if you disagree, but like, I got like a lot of people, if there's any version anybody knows, it's by Glenn Gould. And if there's a second version that anybody knows, it's the other one by Glenn Gould. But then there are other people, and you get to know those. And the thing is, though, for anybody who's like I have this pal, I believe his name's Andrew. I'm getting this new friendship I'm developing on Blue Sky with this guy who plays an orchestra instrument, and he's very into music and talks a lot about music and like music. And it's just that it's for somebody who's like a scholar of this stuff. This is all basic shit. Me saying that E minor. Is okay, but I know the words.
You know what's really basic? If in the Finder, you know that in View you could show the different views and do Command 1,
okay,
Command 2,
I'm
Command 3.
I'm getting better about it, but it doesn't help me. And
when I'm mean about it, oh well.
It kind of just stops what we're doing. Now what was I saying? Elgar, and the thing is, you won't remember this, most of you, until you remember if you've seen Dunkirk. And listen, it's very important to realize that Dunkirk has 3 time scales in it. Even if you know the bit about that, please just remember, because it's very confusing if you don't know that. But it ends. The ending of Dunkirk includes that piece, a heavily rearranged, reorchestrated version of that piece that I heard the composer did not give enough credit to other people for, but that's what I heard. Not the theme composer.
Oh.
Anyway, no, he's very famous, and we're not going to have gossip on this show. But anyway,
okay.
Elgar, sorry. Elgar and Dupre, and why am I basic? Oh no, just because like, boy, it's great. I'm going to get people really excited about this shit by saying you should hear this thing called, whatever, Ode to Joy, or Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, or Toccata and Fugue in D minor, or like all the or even stuff you don't know the name of, like Water Music or Eine kleine Nacht music. And it's like, oh, fuck. All right, Mr. Cool Guy. Like, loosen your cravat, dude. I've heard this. And it's like, yeah, but like this one guy's particular performance of the Goldberg variations is so crisp and articulated and understated that when it pops, it really pops. And whereas I love the acrobatics of the 1955 Glenn Gould version, I actually appreciate the dynamics of the 81 version more. Now, even that's fucking basic to talk about with this stuff. I'm not trying to make you think it's cool. I'm just trying to make you realize there's stuff you can love. I'm telling you about something I love.
I'm not saying that you're doing this. I'm not critiquing you.
No, but that's
But I'm going to say that some people make being enthusiastic about something, whether that be an enthusiasm about something.
I want to be positive, Alex. I don't want to be negative.
I'm not being negative. I'm saying I don't think it is.
Title.
For example, thinking, holy shit, duck soup.
That was the challenge this week. We should talk about that.
That
phone's ringing, dude. What's your name, dude?
Is this?
I'm the Walrus.
For me?
I'm the Walrus. And Jacqueline Dupre, the young Jacqueline Dupre, plays this cello piece in the 1960s, and it's like, anyway. I don't know a ton of stuff by Elgar, but that's too, I think he also wrote Pomp and Circumstance, but I'm not positive.
Ooh.
I think that's Elgar. I don't think it was designed to be played, DSL too many times like it usually is. By the end, by the time you get to the S's and the T's at any graduation ceremony, you're like, I do not need to hear any more Pomp or Circumstance.
Yeah, no. All the circumstances are gone.
You know what else you can do? And I just want to make sure you all know this when you're in the Finder. You got something selected. Hey, Alex, when you want to get info about a file, what do you hit? What key command?
Oh, Command Shift Y? I have no idea.
Command I will give you, that's how most people will get the information. Just so you know, Option Command I at first will seem to be the same thing, but now go and select anything else. And basically now, instead of having to have all these million different, if you don't need all those windows up at the same time, it's a great way. It's almost like Quick View, And actually, the combination of quick view plus Option Command I can be a powerful way to move through a lot of files.
Oh, see, I have this is very much not basic. I must have remapped this to something because I have command.
Oh, you probably got it for a launcher or something. It might be what you do Raygun for Raygun or something.
Damn it, Raygun.
What's it called?
Raycast, man.
Ray Trace. Ray Trace.
That's a fun
Ray
way
Bolger.
to make
Whitey Bulger. Bulger Rice. Barry Weiss.
2 weeks ago,
Barry
I
Rice.
watched.
Nice to beat you. Option Command.
That's funny.
So there's a country in trouble.
So there's a movie called Doctor Strangelove.
I just want to be clear, I did not know this is the challenge. The last time I watched all of Duck Soup was probably a year or two ago. Last time I watched some of Duck Soup was in the last few weeks. But like to find that, you know, basically, you know why, to find the bit with a minute and a half, just because I think that's one of the funniest paragraphs of English language ever created. But just so you know, if I misquote or I miss anything on this, that's why.
And if I do, I am not apologizing.
If you've watched it once, I'm thrilled.
Doesn't
it tickle a part of your brain, though? Like, if you really disappear into it, doesn't it fucking cut in the pockets out of the guy's pants?
Right.
Like, what the fuck is happening? A.V. the fish man. That's a no good. He keeps taking his hat. Ooh, why don't you stop annoying me?
It's made me want peanuts like every day.
Peanuts to you. That guy used to be a professional boxer and then became an actor.
Yes. Okay.
Peanuts to you.
This isn't good for the. It's not good for the overall bit. But I'd seen Animal Crackers and a bunch of times.
I thought
Animal Crackers would. That's probably still my favorite.
Yep, no,
honestly.
I think Animal Crackers. Duck Soup is the funniest, maybe for grown-ups. But as somebody who first saw Animal Crackers as a kid, and then saw others, I mean, there's a 1,000 Marx Brothers movies I can tell you to completely skip. But of the 5 or 6, you know, that are out there, like which ones are like really worth your time? I think Animal Crackers is a great place to start. And it's got more of a fun story. It does feel more like a play and less like a live comedy performance.
Yes. I still think there is a Marx Brothers, or now what I think a pre-code media death challenge that we need to have.
I would
could
love
talk
that.
about pre-code media for fucking ever. And
that also gives us a
Duck
chance.
Soup.
Oh, you know what? This is weird and random, and I don't want to sound like a creep. I wonder if there's any chance in a million years we know anybody who knows Be Kind Rewind. Because it would be so fun to have her on an episode if she'd be into it. She continues to astonish me. The woman who did the Valley of the Dolls.
Yes.
And like.
Yes. I was thinking of Ed from.
Well, no, but
Every
just
Shade
because
of
she's talked a
Pink,
lot
but
about pre-code stuff.
Yes.
And especially, I mean, because she focuses mostly a lot on She focuses a lot on women and Oscar races and stuff. But she talks a ton. And who's Maggie Mae Fish did an entire series, I think, on Nebula about pre-code movies.
Oh, I don't know if I.
She did that sex series. I'm pretty sure. She's got a new thing now, like a fake kid, not fake, but like a kids show, a make-believe kids show for adults. But, anyways, I would love to talk about pre-code stuff. That shit's bananas, man. Look at M. Look at M. What an upsetting movie that is.
I am not that interested in a lot of or not. I shouldn't say not that interested, but like as someone who went to the film school, I am less. I don't know, obsessed with a lot of the trappings of filmmaking in general. Like, I never considered myself like, people were like, oh, are you a film buff? And I'm like, I don't know, I really like movies, but whatever. But just as we learned last week, before you got very upset when I talked about your career,
What?
I think,
I did what? First
when I was
first of all,
talking about
2 weeks ago.
oh yeah,
But then also what? Oh, what? Oh, because you were like trying to like you were trying to do like a celebrity.
no,
this
not
is your life thing.
celebrity. What the way people just transfer from weird shit
Oh, right,
to
yeah.
either
Yeah,
creativity or comedy, and like I think somewhat famously or well known, the Marx Brothers did vaudeville and then film, but I did not realize.
And they would, and it just in terms of
vaudeville-
other prequel stuff here, just real quick, like they were very busy. They first of all, they were in a family act when they were kids, and they basically got their names. Well, before they even had names that were important to the relevant to the act, they each were usually like some kind of a ethnic stereotype on stage.
Indeed, which you can only find on YouTube. It's
Well, yeah, but I mean, like even like so, and then of what carried over, I think Groucho was the like extremely Jewish guy. Chico was the Italian guy. Was Zeppo the German guy? And then maybe I don't know what Harpo was, but I think it's before Harpo was silent, but I'm not sure.
was he silent on stage? I didn't. What I didn't realize was how often they were, or rather, how many of their films were plays and
like Coconuts. I think the
musicals.
Coconuts was a play. Oh, sorry, but
But like full on musicals, like
Oh, I see.
everyone, almost everyone.
Oh,
in,
well,
Duck Soup.
Groucho, it was real. They're all, I mean, the more you watch them, you'll see that it becomes like a very parodyable bit. That there's always at least one scene where Chico plays piano and does the shooting with his finger gun thing. He's fucking great piano player, great articulation. Harpo will generally get a completely gorgeous harp song, and in some, obviously Groucho sings. But there's some very memorable ones where there's one where a woman is rowing him around in a boat while he sings her a song and plays guitar.
One of the first times that ever happened.
That's where the title of that Woody Allen movie comes from, right?
Oh, I
Everyone
thought that was,
says I love you, the bumps and the bubbas and the bum. He also does, oh, Lydia, Lydia, have you seen Lydia, Lydia, the tattooed lady? Which he also performs on Dick Cavett. I'll shut up now. But music, like they were, again, like it's who was I talking about? You or somebody? The idea of a triple threat? Right? The idea of like, which people use to mean different things, but the original meaning I ever heard of the phrase, somebody who's a triple threat professionally is a performer, not just who can sing, dance, and act, but who can sing really well and dance really well and act really well. Right? And they could do all those things. They're all good dancers too. They're great physical comedians. But they were doing it in some cases. They were shooting during the day on a movie, while they were on stage with the stage show that might turn into the need for rehearsals of that stage show for the next movie, right? And they were just like super busy all the time. But everything you see in that movie has been road tested, like all that material. Like you hear about with stand-ups. Yeah, for like at least for the first, especially the first 5 in the what is that? Universal, not Columbia, whatever their original. No,
they're Paramount.
The Paramount years.
Their first 5. Like when I say not a, I'm not putting it well because I guess with Duck Soup, I was trying to not get too into the weeds about the behind the scenes and how just
I think
bonkers.
that's the third one, but I'm not sure.
It is the 5th.
I think it. Oh. Let's see. I was thinking coconuts, animal crackers. Oh, was horse feathers in between?
Yes, it was. This was their final animal one, which I finally looked up. Do you know why it's called Duck Soup or the joke from?
I don't know. I know the beginning of it used to upset both my little kid and I when the ducks are in the boiling pot. Did you watch it all the way in? Did you watch it at the end? Did you see the war scene with the different uniforms?
I mean, that was.
Isn't
what
it- I mean,
you
like by
see
that point, you're
inside
like, oh my god,
already
this movie.
seen.
It's so funny. The movie's like 80 minutes or something. It's something ridiculous. You've been through all of this. You've been through all this crazy shit. The tattoo of a dog that barks, and like you've been through all of this, and then you get to that last bit, and it's like, this is some of the most. Just to use a wonderful word. You know how I like to say like wicked instead of evil? Like, I love the word mayhem. And nothing describes the last act of that movie like the word mayhem. Because literally stuff is blowing up. People are blowing up, but also the uniforms keep changing. And it's such a bold thing to do in a movie at that time, to be that visually fucking weird in a way that's not like for a film festival.
And it wasn't as if they could cut and do a long camera change.
Right.
Like
Oh, no,
that-
if you got that bomb thing wrong, that reset's going to take a while. Or the mirror gag, like any of that, like, oh my fucking God, sorry. I love this movie,
I had
Alex.
never seen the mirror gag.
You've probably seen like a million copies of it, though, right?
Yeah. It was another. This isn't from The Simpsons, or rather, for me, this isn't from cartoons. Basically,
And
every
it ends with
Warner
Harpo
Brothers
doing one of his
cartoons
best
is
gookies.
just- yeah.
Do you know that? Do you know about that? The face that he makes.
Like
He does it. He does a face where he sticks his tongue. He also does it when he's with the peanut vendor.
Very upsetting.
He sticks his tongue out, blows out his cheeks huge, and squinches down his eyes. And he does it in every movie as like a reaction, like expression, or like that's the end of the bit.
Very upsetting.
And it's based on somebody from their neighborhood when they were growing up, and I think his name was Gookie.
Oh.
And I think he was like a tailor, and that was the face that he would make when he'd thread a needle. And so Harpo started doing an impression of him, and he just kept like inflating it and making it bigger each time.
I just thought that was what. I don't know, another common knowledge thing. I just thought he was like a lot of their bits are like, this sounds funny. I'm gonna put a name.
So it wasn't
to this, like how
it
they
wasn't
would
too
just-
stupid. It wasn't too stupid for you.
No, I mean that's.
I mean, it's but
mean,
no,
the
no,
Marx
really it is.
Brothers,
It's
you
very
can say, are
flimsy
both
as a
basic.
story. If you don't love the Marx Brothers and their antics, oh my fucking God! To me, it's just a set of incredible scenes. Is the way I think about it. The one with the guy with the cigars and running around the baseball field inside the office, like that scene with Harpo and Chico and that guy. Is just it just slays me like every time.
There's
Cutting up the cigar.
It does.
Why does he have so much stuff in his pocket? Why does he have those huge scissors in his pocket? What an odd thing to have. Why does he have a tattoo like that? It doesn't make any sense to have a tattoo that barks.
There was more plot than I expected because. Well, I was going to say somewhat famously, but I guess there's lore that this initially flopped, but when really it didn't. It was just it made less money than the previous animal films because it was the fucking depression and it was expensive to see movies.
I guess you're right. Animal crackers, horse feathers, duck
pig.
soup, and what's the one I'm forgetting? Horse feathers is the college one. Room service is after, I guess. Horse feathers. I guess I could just look it up. Alex, did you know that I'm resistant to looking things up while I'm talking on a podcast? Did you know that?
And
I think it frustrates people because they've already looked it up. People who are listening, and I understand that because I look stuff up too. The thing is, I just want y'all to know periodically. I just want to remind you, I don't do that. I don't care. I want to just have the conversation. I don't want to spend time looking things up. You can do that.
I used to not do that because this is the only thing.
Monkey
I
business.
do.
Fuck.
Well, is that during the? I guess that was during
31.
Yeah. That was part of the Paramount era.
You sound like you've learned a lot about the Marx Brothers, my friend. You've learned a lot of things.
Because of my kind of I guess it's an obsession with just the pre-code ethos around Hollywood.
And that's 34? Was that right? No,
It
later.
wasn't implemented until 36. Like, it was around, but most people...
Fucking
it was
Will
like
Hayes,
the
man. He screwed it up for
Yes,
everybody.
what a piece of shit. Him and Tipper Gore ruined all the fun.
They ruined it.
And the... Ruined.
Ruined.
I did look it up. 31 to 34. And then it really was implemented.
Okay, got
which... And that's kind of when
Let's be honest though. Well, like Will Hayes, but you know who we can really blame. You know who to blame. You know who to really blame, right?
the Jews, who
The other ones.
the
Your people.
I mean the Christians. Wait, what?
The Catholics.
This is a bit. But
No, the Catholics. Like the Catholics were like the Catholic. Well, I don't know enough to say. Like I'm still trying to understand the difference between like the president and the prime minister, and those kinds of divisions as an American are still a little confusing to me. But never mind. Let's carry on.
No, but this wasn't this wasn't one of the. It was like a reverse abortion, huh? But you know,
reverse
abortion was very
abortion.
much abortion was very much a
So
Catholic
much of the stuff
issue.
about what we're allowed to see over the past, I think, especially like 200 years, like I was thinking about like the influence of the cardinals in France and all that kind of stuff. Like like you couldn't read Hunchback of Notre Dame for a long time.
Nope.
Or
And I mean,
whatever. I mean, we talked today about, a term we've been using, I guess, since the 70s or so, banned books, as like the idea of these are books that have been banned in lots of places. So we celebrate them or we remain aware of that. But a lot of those bans, even if they don't have their cardinal fingers on it, a lot of that comes from the Catholic Church. That's my understanding anyway. And that sounds like a paranoid thing, but it's just true. They were especially around that time in the 20s and 30s, they were on the front lines of saying what it was okay to have in popular culture and then enforcing it.
Okay, so yes and no, because remember at that time still, Catholicism wasn't really popular. Like it was still kind of seen as an iffy, like, yeah, we're Christians.
Well, Stalin wasn't always popular, but he managed to stay in power till he died.
No. But the Pope already Christianity.
Okay,
in
just to be clear
America-
here, just so we don't get into a dumb argument. Do you have any fucking idea what you're actually talking about, or are you speculating? Be honest.
No.
Okay. So what you're about to tell me is that in the 30s, the Catholic Church wasn't that popular, so they weren't their desire to censor things was not having an impact.
No, they were officially. It was like the.
Unpopular with
I believe
whom?
it was called the League of Decency America, like Americans, because
Somebody should tell Father Coughlin.
Just like the idea of I did look it up, Catholic Legion of Decent. That's way cooler than the League of Decency.
That sounds like a Zack Snyder movie.
The reason
New from DC. From the mind of Zack Snyder. League of Decency.
No, you first. No, you.
Sucker Punch could be another challenge.
Zucker
Way you
Punch,
feel about
in which we punch
Sucker-
Mark Zuckerberg
Oh,
with
I like
CGI dust
that.
around. We are Sparta. 996.
That's not. But the Catholics were the best people to pit against the Jews, so it was kind of like, hey, rising
They're
crosses.
both like arguing about books.
The
York Steakhouse. Look at that.
So
the movie.
Way I expected Duck Soup to just be a series of a series of sketches, which is kind of always to be felt like what most Marx Brothers movies are.
Absolutely.
And-
Well, it's certainly some of the best and most memorable stuff is the things that are like, I never quite understand how people mean to use the phrase set piece. And I think a lot of times they don't exactly know what they mean either. But let's just say they're closer to sketches. Like these are like
Yes.
little, they're like, or, something you've worked out and you've performed and you've honed over time. And whereas like, I don't know why, and I love this about the movie, but very early in the movie, there's a scene, remember where the person's like announcing everybody as they come in And then they start, there's just this awkward scene where it's like, and here's some people from the Orient with funny names. And then we meet the guy and we meet Vera and they're having that awkward conversation on the staircase. And like, that's on first viewing, that's not going to be the part that you're quoting to your friends. Those scenes are awkward. Or like before he and Groucho have remember there later in the movie, there's that outdoor party thing, and that guy and Groucho are going to it seems like they're going to have a fight or a duel at that event. Like everything leading up to that is so tedious. It's just workman-like exposition to keep the plot moving. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, but every movie is kind of like that. There are scenes where it's just funny to watch Harpo just stand there with his eyes open, and then there are scenes where it's just two people talking about the way the ship works or something for a minute because it's a plot point. And like those things are so dreary compared to what's really the energy change when any of those brothers is on screen.
They're essentially like slotted in because all of those were part of their vaudeville act. And I did not know Duck Soup has the most apparent, well, according to the internet, there's hard to find books about Marx Brothers, difficult to obtain over just 2 weeks. Had like the most original content and calling it content.
Well, didn't George S. Kaufman or who wrote it? Remind me. It was somebody really good. I think it was either Kaufman or who wrote Duck Soup. See now, this is just to say, I'm just responding in real, and as we say on MSNBC, I'm responding in real time because Nat Perrin, that guy was funny. Because I had not known that this was the challenge. Never mind. I thought, produced by Mankiewicz, Marx Brothers, and directed by, Leo McCarey. He did a bunch of funny comedy stuff.
Did you think, like I mentioned before, I did not expect any sort of a plot point, but the whole anti-war, and the whole commentary on the First World's, or the Great War.
Yeah, no.
Was that later on? He was like, we're just four Jews looking for a laugh, and trying to.
Was that a quote or a speculation?
No, that was a quote. That was because people would ask Groucho, like, what does...
In that case, I should become more aware of when you're merely quoting somebody in a way that makes them sound like self-racists. Anyway, I'd taken a nap because I was an illegal alien and I was very sleepy. I'm lazy. And that's why I said it that way, and then I fell asleep because I'm lazy. I'm shiftless.
Sorry, 4 Jews looking for a laugh.
I will self-deport.
What should I say?
Self-deport. So that would be like deportando, if it's a reflexive verb. Go ahead.
Chugga. I can't tell if it was actually like some sort of commentary until the end, the mayhem bit, that so much of Doctor Strangelove is Duck Soup, and it kept being like,
especially if they've included the pie scene, if they kept the pie scene in. Originally Doctor Strangelove ends with a pie fight in the war room. And they've shot it. They shot it and everything. Yeah.
Oh, is this a thing that
I don't know. I think I've heard that anyhow. But no, I agree with you. But the thing is though, it's not the kind of mayhem. You learn this when you're a little boy and you're playing games that involve like explosions and making a mess and stuff. Because that's like a lot of what little boys do. As I once said, I realized when my kid was about 3 that every little boy will just hit a tree with a stick until he falls asleep, given the opportunity. But like an explosion, like a really good explosion. God, watch Todd's new video on Vanity Fair about this. It really explains this well, whether it's a water effect or this exploding effect, like adding this puff of dust. There's these things that give us cues. Like throwing a bunch of dirt in the air is not a cool explosion when you're a little kid. And what was my point?
Doctor Strangelove, Pies in the Faces, Marx Brothers, how I'm like, everything isn't everything, but everything kind of is the Marx Brothers in pre-code comedy.
I lost my train of thought completely.
I'm just the pies in
Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah,
We were back. No, hang on. You guys, you've got to hang with me. This is.
hitting.
I mean,
the
this is going to
tree
keep
with a
happening.
stick.
Little boys, explosions, realistic. If you want to make mayhem, that, you know what? If you want to make mayhem that looks cool, if you want to make porn that looks sexy, if you want to make a commercial for a Big Mac where it looks tasty, you're going to have to not do it in the way that's fun or easy. You're going to have to do it in the way that makes it look good, right? So you might have to do shit, like, as we all learn, from those serving suggestion, like, legally I can have to tell you that, like, your first dinner is not really going to look like this, and it doesn't come with a plate. Like, but you make it look pretty rather than how it'll look, understandably. Like, when you're making porn, I assume you've got some kind of an aesthetic idea in mind about how people intercourse. Just shooting a camera at people fucking, I don't know, that's probably not the same thing. And the mayhem of what they're doing, sorry, that was a long road to get to this seemingly obvious point. You don't come up with scenes like that just hoping it'll work out. Like, as the mayhem and the chaos that we get from that, I really doubt that was completely reflected in the production. Somebody had to go make all that stuff in that house, and do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some artfulness that went into that beyond just, or I mean, obviously in an extreme example, think about the famous shot of Buster Keaton where an actual real side of a house falls on him. And if it weren't for the hole where the window is, he would have been crushed. That was a real, actual side of a house. And you talk about measure twice, cut once. You really want to get that stuff right. What I'm saying is they didn't come up with this by phoning it in on the day. And like, or even just for that matter, like buying some pie and throwing it at each other. Like, there's a lot of choreography. Think about the costume changes. Think about all the resets they've got to do.
What has been, I mean, I guess this is what you are saying is, yeah, there's so much blocking involved that they are essentially performing on a stage because they are sound stages. They cannot make the sort of adjustments that you're not building a giant not a yacht. You're not building a big Greek ship in some parking lot. You need to work with what you have. The reason there's so many staircases is because staircases look really good in a wide shot, and you don't need to add a bunch of stuff to make it look like, yeah, this is a real place. There's a big staircase. All right. And then you need to work around the funny, you need to make your funny bits. And occasionally that does involve someone just kind of like standing around. But I do think about, like, okay, what did oh God, I should know this, like the lined script for that final scene, what did that look like?
Oh, right.
Who was holding the costumes? Where were they? Like, what would, that's the kind of thing that I'm like, I was trying to find interviews, and of course none of those exist because no one wants to hear the Marx Brothers talk about.
There's more of that stuff out there than you're letting on. I mean, there are.
I've
personally read probably 3 books about Groucho Marx. Just going the Dick Cavett route will like take you to a lot of places, and there's several, or at least a couple, I would say at least pretty good, one of which I think very good, documentaries about the Marx Brothers, but especially through the point of view of, like, their kids. And he was not an awesome dad. His daughter's was pretty screwed up.
Oh God,
Minnie. Might have been Minnie. No, Minnie was his mother, but I forget his daughter's name. I want to say Minnie, but that's not right.
I don't.
Anyway,
the one book I was able to get my hands on in this amount of time was Raised Eyebrows, which was by Steve Stoliar. I don't know, Groucho's last assistant.
Oh, jeez. So it's like a tell-all book.
No. It is. I thought it was going.
But is it about the years with Aaron and everybody wondering what was going on? Because that was a very
Yeah.
confounding. People were like, "What is this woman doing? This is all very weird." You know, it had
Yeah,
that
but
feeling of like the Richard Simmons thing or the Stan Lee thing.
But it's not quite like it's an old guy with there's less
It was
exploitation.
a very
less
pretty young
weird
girl.
shit. Yeah, and more just I mean, how would you react if like you're suddenly the basically executive assistant to your hero and watching just him tell stories.
I don't know, but it's I guess to the point where I think we're making. I'm not sure that I would look at that as a. I know it's what you could get, but I would not look at that as one of the. I wouldn't end with that as my primary source of information about the life of the Marx Brothers. That sounds like a very specific sliver from one very specific point of view.
Yeah, which is why it's really, really fascinating, and why I'm very upset. The library
could the person who wrote it did he know Groucho Marx at any time before the late '60s?
No, he's a baby, or was a baby when he wrote
Okay.
this. No. I'm the only reason I'm.
I mean, that would be
saying-
very low in my works cited for things that help me understand what gambling and alcohol meant for Chico, and did not for Harpo.
Oh God! Well,
Everybody
it's
loved
fucked
Harpo.
up. He doesn't talk about his brothers.
The
It's so
kids
weird.
of the other brothers would just go hang out at Harpo's house because it was such a wonderful place to be. Very supportive, relaxed, not weird.
It reminded me, and now I'm not talking about this book, but it reminded me of how the other kids would go to Paul, like hang out with Paul McCartney because John Lennon was
Oh
so
yeah, a
fucked
little
up.
shaky at home. Yeah.
That's what.
What? Well, no, didn't
little-
he
a
live
little
with his
shaky
aunt,
at
right?
home.
Didn't he live with his aunt? Am I being gross? I didn't mean to be.
Oh no! Just thinking that Little Shaky is a way to put John Lennon's life
Little
in
Shaky.
Little Shaky. Although Yoko Ono gets. I don't know.
Neil Young has a nom de plume
Really bad
that he
rap.
uses that I really like a lot. He says, "What is it? It's Leonard. I think it's Leonard Shaky. I think it's the name, something like that. Bernard Shaky is his fake name. I think that's a good fake name.
That is a good.
Can
Why is that funny?
Can I read
It's
you a
funny to
quote
me.
and then hit the bell because I want to leave?
Please do. Well, to be continued.
What?
Let's have another.
What else is there to
I-
talk about? This is not a film studies class, Alex. You just got to watch the fucking
No.
movie. I understand you're
Margaret
very
Dumont.
interested in this now. Oh, okay.
Margaret Dumont
Margaret Dumont.
is one of, I think, the best actresses, not just of the pre-code era, but she
You're high as
could
a
have
kite.
been. I'm not high as a kite.
You
my
are.
dick
That's an
wills.
insane thing to say.
I don't.
She's extremely enthusiastic in one extremely narrow kind of role with one extremely narrow cast and situation.
because
But she never understood what was even going on.
she does.
And you can really see it. When you see them performing it together again in the 50s and 60s, it's really funny.
I don't think she's even seen Duck Soup. Please read the quote.
Oh, I don't have a source for this, but this has been attributed, to Irving Thalberg, the great producer of Paramount. Died too young. And this is specifically a note that he gave to his assistant. You're not to let the brothers Marx wait in my office ever. They've been grilling hot dogs again. The boy wonder, they called him, Irving Thalberg.